Today was a big day. Now, of course, today is a meaningful day, depending on where you're at in the world and what you have going on in your world.
There are few people who can so easily inspire and motivate like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. What is it about his life that has allowed him to reach such incredible heights? Through his words, we can learn some valuable life lessons. First, be willing to put in the hard work that it takes to build a solid foundation. A strong base is essential when trying to move on to bigger and better things. And no matter where you come from, remember your humble beginnings and recognize failures as successes. Hard times and mistakes are how we learn along the way. Oftentimes, the one thing you wanted most in life can be the best thing that never happened to you. Don't see missed opportunities as game enders, but rather game changers. It can be hard to let go of something that you may not really be ready to leave behind. And don't just take your own word for it, listen to what others want to tell you. When you are listening to the consensus of others, take it into consideration when making big life decisions for yourself. Value the opinions those close to you can offer and let them be an inspiration. But in the end, make sure to treat yourself as well. If you do decide to leave something that you love, it's okay to miss it. Use what you have learned along the way to help launch you further into the things that will bring you even greater success. In spite of what may lie in your past, moving forward may very well be the best thing that you have ever done for yourself.
You got to get up. You got to have faith that the one thing you wanted to happen oftentimes is the best thing that never happened.
I miss wrestling. I love wrestling. Yes, I do. I quietly retired from wrestling because I was lucky enough to have just a really wonderful career and accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. But there's nothing like a live crowd, live audience, live microphone, as you know, as you both know. So wrestling, plus I grew up in wrestling. For a lot of you guys that don't know, my grandfather wrestled, my dad as well, my whole family. And I actually had my very first match ever in the WWE was in Madison Square Garden, and it was a big pay-per-view. And it's funny because I credit time in my journey in pro wrestling to get me to where I am today, because especially that particular night. I'll break it down for you. Very first match ever in the company of the WWE, and generally your very first match, you have it in a small town, small crowd, non-televised. This was Madison Square Garden, sold out, one of the biggest pay-per-views of the year, Survivor Series. Sold out Madison Square Garden, 22,000 people. I was in one of the main events. No one knew who I was. You know, there's that saying, if you make it here in New York, you can make it anywhere, because it's the toughest crowd and they really test you, especially in the world of wrestling. So I went out, I had my match, and at about the 15-minute mark of my match, 22,000 people were chanting, "Rocky." It just set me on a path in my career that I'll never forget. So right here in New York City.
Got to show you guys this view. It is spectacular, of one of my favorite cities in the world, Vancouver, Canada. And look, I've dropped my blood and sweat in this city, wrestled multiple matches in this city, shot big movies in this city. But one thing that a lot of people don't know that I want to share with you guys is when I was 22 years old, I came to this city for the first time. I was playing in the Canadian Football League, playing my first pro football game. I was playing for the Calgary Stampeders. We were playing the BC Lions. I was so excited. 2 days later, I got cut. The dream shattered, sent home with $7 in my pocket. I was like, wait, no, I got to play in the NFL eventually. Those are my big goals. That's my dream. You realize that playing in the NFL was the best thing that never happened, because it got me here. So my point is, look, you're going to get your ass kicked. We're going to get the shit kicked out of us. You got to get up. You got to have faith that the one thing you wanted to happen oftentimes is the best thing that never happened. So have faith and just keep that in mind and keep plugging away. You're like, no shit, Rock. I know you know. I just wanted to catch you before March 16th ended, because March 16th, 2021, around the world, today was a big day. Now, of course, today is a meaningful day, depending on where you're at in the world and what you have going on in your world. But in a certain world and in a certain culture, today was a big day, and there is connective tissue between that world and my world, and that culture and my culture, and that DNA and my DNA. And that is, as I continue to put in the work with my own two hands and continue to put these calluses up, as we all do, we all put in the work. This is all done to strengthen and evolve and grow the power and the force known as the foundation. I still had to follow my gut and my instinct. And I think years later, once I became successful as a wrestler, was very, very proud. And then what he did, he would take credit for everything. Big men really don't cry. You have to be tough through it all. You have to play through the pain and things like that. But, you know, over the years, you realize that A, it's unhealthy, and B, just not me. I realized that identifying who I am and who I am is I need to talk about this.
I live that life. I know what it's like. And I also know what it's like to transition out of football at a time, much like my character in Ballers, where I wasn't ready to give up the players what they tell me. They always tell me this off to the side. Before you tell me what you're going to tell me, let's make sure your microphone's turned off. Well, it's very real. The idea of me being president one day has become a legit thing to some people. As time goes on, we take the temperature of the American people, and if it is a overwhelming, positive, strong, we want you to run for president, and if I felt that I can step up to the plate and become a tremendous leader and make a real difference and make change, I would do it. Becoming a father has inspired me and motivated me beyond words that I can possibly. It's just a house full of women. It's just all women. I think the number one thing that a lot of people, for whatever reason, become adverse to, carbs are your friend.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.